Emergency crews now working in the city of Hilldale, clearing debris and looking for any more victims of last night's powerful thunderstorm and fast-moving water. We're bringing you team coverage of this story. News 3's Sergio Avila is live out near Hilldale, where a press conference was scheduled for just a short while ago. And then we've got our own Kim Wagner, who's got the latest from the News 3 studio. But first, we go to Sergio, just east of St. George, Utah, on the border of Arizona and Utah. Sergio, what are you seeing out there?
Well, Jeff, we're in Colorado City, and we just stepped out of a press conference that's still going on right now. This morning, a ninth person has been found deceased in this area here. A flash flooding, like you said, devastating. 2 vehicles carrying 16 people. There are 4 people who are still missing at this point. We're being told that that is an adult and 3 children. And as we drove in here just about 20 minutes ago, the scene looks like this. There's mud and debris all over most of the roads here in this area. We're still quite a ways of where the major flooding happened on the Virgin River. Earlier today, like I said, there was a press conference. The mayor talking about how there are 600 people out on search and rescue right now, 100 officers and 500 volunteers from in and around this community. The mayor saying this is truly devastating. He's grown up here his entire life. And listen as he talked about the devastation.
This is an act of God, and this is something that we can't control. We have to take what we receive and do the best we can. There's been a huge outpouring, as you can see here this evening. So thankful to have the Lieutenant Governor here and our Senator last. They've come out. We've had all of the county commissioners out here. We've had the county attorney and a lot of the county people, and we very much appreciate that.
The governor of Utah extending all of their support, saying that the state is behind this community at this point. We heard from search and rescue crews just a moment ago that they're watching some storms in the area. If you just look up into the sky, you see a lot of cloud cover here where we are. That obviously still a concern. The mayor saying that flash flood came so quickly. He said he got an alert on his phone about a flash flood, and that was even after this incident with 16 people happened. So that's how quickly this water moved and how swiftly it moved. 16 people involved, 9 people confirmed dead so far. The search is still on for 4 others, an adult and 3 children. Reporting live from Colorado City, Utah, Sergio Avila, News 3.
So we have team coverage of this story.
News 3 Sergio Avila joins us live near Hilldale, where a press conference wrapped up around 12 o'clock, and our Kim Wagner has the latest from our News 3 studio, so we have it all covered. Now we're going to go to Sergio first in Colorado City, outside of Hilldale, just east of St. George, Utah, on the border with Arizona and Utah. So Sergio, we told our viewing audience not too long ago that they have confirmed now a 9th death, which unfortunately we learned was a child.
Crystal, yeah, and that discovery being made just earlier this morning. They told us minutes before the press conference that this had happened. 9 people, like you said, washed away in this severe flooding. The heavy equipment's gone. This is what it's about now. Let me show you. You have community members who are just eyes on the water here, just looking for any sort of sign that somebody may be underneath the sand and debris there. I'm actually standing on a sidewalk, and you can't even see it. Really, it's that far deep, just a couple inches. If we go down, this is what the water looks like now. It's receded tremendously since earlier today, and this is what we see. Crews, there's dogs out here. There are about 100 officers along with 500 volunteers, all with their eyes trained on this area. We were told that some of the people who were found were discovered 6.5 miles away from where that road was washed away. 16 people in 2 different vehicles were washed away. 9 have been recovered. The search is still on for 4 others. We're being told that that is 1 adult and 3 children. So a lot of children involved in this unfortunate, devastating flood. Like you did say, the National Guard is on its way. We're being told about 24 guardsmen are coming down, and they should be here around 4 o'clock. That's what we found out during a press conference earlier today, where some officials expressing some deep remorse.
This is an act of God, and this is something that we can't control. We have to take what we receive and do the best we can. There's been a huge outpouring, as you can see here this evening. So thankful to have the lieutenant governor here and our Senator last have come out. We've had all of the county commissioners out here. We've had the county attorney and a lot of the county people, and we very much appreciate that.
And if you look, that's how strong these waters were. That's sort of a flat metal panel there that was squished up against this storm drain here. Again, all eyes now trained on this water. 500 volunteers out here searching, 100 officers as well, several dogs. We're hearing more rescuers are on their way, more dogs are coming, and the National Guard expected to arrive here in this area around 4 o'clock this evening. Reporting live, Sergio Avila, News 3, back to you in the studio.
Here's where we are right now. Utah's National Guard heading to that area to help with the search efforts. The latest discovery of bodies made just within the last hour.
Oh, that van. Oh, dear, there's 2 vehicles. Oh, no, there's 2 vehicles.
The reaction as that wall of water hit the vehicles containing so many people that were swept away. This is a very close-knit community, often known and associated with polygamous families, and today their families grieving a terrible loss.
News 3 Sergio Avila joins us live from Hilldale. So, Sergio, what can you tell us about the rescue efforts right now?
Well, Marie, right now the concern obviously is this. If we pan the camera over, you see the clouds covering the canyon there. More rain. It started raining here about half an hour ago now. As the search efforts continue for that last final person, 16 people were caught up in rushing flood waters yesterday. 12 of them now confirmed dead, 1 missing, 3 survived.
I've lived here all my life, and I've never seen anything like this.
Kevin Barlow is the assistant fire chief for the Hilldale area. His voice soft and with obvious signs of sadness as he talked about 9 people who have been found dead after being washed away by heavy flooding.
And they had stopped there because they couldn't cross. And so they had stopped and had got out of their vehicles, were watching the flood. Unbeknownst to them, a flash flood had developed up in the canyon.
Barlow says the floodwaters rushed from behind 16 people. They never saw it coming.
So it was really fast.
We're told there were 3 adults in the group, the rest young children. The National Guard now making its way to this area to help with the recovery efforts. Barlow says this highly religious community will have to move on one day at a time.
We're just greatly humbled by this, but we realize that this is an act of God, and this is something that we can't control. We have to take what we receive and do the best we can.
And just to be clear, we filed this report shortly before we found out that those 12 people have now been recovered. There you see the road still washed away. Crews here waiting to see if another flash flood hits this area. The Weather Service did announce a flash flood warning here until about 6:30 this evening as crews continue the search for that 1 remaining person. Reporting live, Sergio Avila, News 3, back to you in the studio.
Sergio Avila is live in Colorado City, Arizona. And Sergio, you've been talking with a relative of the victims.
Jim, that's right. And just to be clear, 13 lives expected to be lost here. 16 people were washed away in that floodwater. The fire department you see behind me is the headquarters for all search and rescue folks. Inside, there are folks right now beginning to have dinner after a long day of searching. We're being told that the search efforts are being scaled back because of not only the weather, it had been raining for a little bit throughout this evening, but also the daylight is starting to go away. And so a search is being scaled back for the night. We can tell you that that final victim that they're looking for is a young boy. Like you said, we spoke to one of the family members of this tragedy, and they're telling us that they are just devastated.
Now in an instant, our families are gone.
He spoke softly but full of emotion. Joseph Jessup speaking during a press conference about how his family has been forever changed by rushing floodwaters that swept them away.
We express our sincere gratitude for the kindness and assistance at this inexpressible time of sorrow. The combined efforts of many caring people have brought us comfort in the rescue and recovery of our loved ones.
That recovery effort continues to find the 1 remaining victim of this deadly flood. It rocked this tight-knit community.
I usually try to stop thinking about what happened, but I don't really know if I would ever forget it or not.
13-year-old Roy Lee Stubbs and his father Leroy making it a point to come see the washed out road.
I wanted to see how it was because I've been here almost all my life,
A deadly day for a very religious community, and Jessup says that same faith will help them get through this difficult time.
We know God is guiding all things and trust in Him to heal our wounded hearts at this time.
Again, the search efforts for this evening have been scaled back. If there are any updates, we're expecting them through a Facebook page for this community emergency management folks in this area. Again, that search will continue for the next several hours, and it will pick up again if this child is not found by the morning. The efforts will be ramped up. Once again, reporting live in Colorado City, Arizona, Sergio Avila, News 3.
Today, let's check in with Sergio live this morning. So for our noon program, Sergio, you were able to watch a news conference there and get additional information, but I can't wait to hear what you have for us this morning as this continues to develop.
Well, Kim, as you know, one person's still missing. We're hearing that's a young boy at this hour. As soon as the sun came up, the crews came out to start working on clearing some of the debris here in this dirt left in this road. There you see the front loader getting rid of some of the mud and soot that's been covering a lot of this ground. Like you said, 16 people in all washed away in this flash flooding just a couple of days ago. One young child still missing. 3 mothers, unfortunately, were killed in this, along with 9 children. And that one child who's missing is presumed dead as well. We're being told at this hour, the National Guard, we just saw them walk by or drive by. They were in about 10 different vehicles. We were told right once the sun came up, they were going to continue searching. It seems like that is getting underway as well. There you can see it's slightly cloudy out here at this time. No rain though this morning, which is a good thing for rescuers and search and rescue crews who cannot operate when it starts to rain a lot. And it was, we heard from Joseph Jessup yesterday. He was a family member involved who lost some family in this tragic flooding, and he talked to us about his heartache.
Now in an instant, our families are gone. We appreciate the sympathy and consideration which we have been given.
And again, the National Guard has arrived. They are beginning their work again in this area. There's now a boil water advisory because they believe that the well system may have been damaged in this flooding. So anyone in this area is advised to boil their water before drinking it. Reporting live in Hilldale, Utah, Sergio Avila, News 3.